Whoops, sorry, got that wrong. Okay, well, welcome back everyone to Connect and Collaborate White Sands Self-Care. And I have yet another beautiful lady that is joining me today. I love kicking off the new year this way. I have known Lila Veronica for a little over 3 years now. And ever since I've known her, she's a coach, she's a business coach, she's a speaker, she's done a number of things. And as long as I have known her, she's always just so passionate, so happy, so free and full of life. And I was really surprised to find out that she wasn't always that way or wasn't always happy. She found the mindful movement experience in 2013, and she's so passionate about it and sharing with others. And she created the Riverstone movement. So I wanted to bring Lila on today to share with everyone else, because I know a lot of people like to kick the new year off. And, if you're looking to start a new you, I couldn't think of a better way to do it. So Lila, I'm happy to have you here. And can you please share a little bit with people with what your experience was, how you got it started, and what your challenge is all about?
Oh, I would love to, Laura. Thank you so much. I want to say first, thank you for creating this community and for focusing on helping people take care of themselves and for taking care of yourself, because you're the example in the world that a lot of people need. So I want to just say thank you for doing this. It's a high value of mine, and I see you and I honor your work, and I really am grateful for what you're doing in the world. It's beautiful.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
I know you love it, girl. So that's what's fun, right? We get to love this kind of work, and I love what I do. So yeah, I'm Lila Veronica, and I'm a coach. We'll start there, a speaker, and I have done lots of different coaching over the years, and we all want to have like an idea. What are you? Name it now. Well, I'm an evolving woman where I actually integrate the body, the mind into the bank account stuff, the revenue, the business growth. I know that a lot of people want to create something more in their life, whether it be revenue or love or something, travel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And one of the biggest struggles to get there is they don't feel good. They're overwhelmed, stressed out, stuck, confused, and they don't feel like sometimes they even deserve to have what they want. They're feeling like they don't have enough time, and they're in like this self-sacrifice kind of situation. And I believe we can all have what we want. I believe if you want something, you're meant to have it because you want it. Like, it's just so logical to me. I often say I get everything I want, and people love to give me stuff.
Yep.
And that's what this is about today.
So and I love that too. There's a lot of people that are just I think they just get stuck in what I call the rat race, or they get stuck in life. They just doing what they think they should be doing and try to convince themselves that they're happy when they're not truly happy.
Yeah. And we all know that taking care of ourselves first is important. Fill your cup first so you can spilleth over. Everything outside of yourself is really a reflection of you, right? You got something going on out there. It's something going on in here, right? And at the same time, I'm going to talk about time in a second. At the same time, people still are outside of themselves instead of with themselves more. And so what I teach is basically a form of self-care. That's why I love being here today. I'm so grateful. And it's really a moment-to-moment awareness of yourself. So I'm going to talk a little bit about time and values and why I created the Feel Good Rebellion, and why I created Riverstone movement, and why I'm adding, so much mind body work to my offerings and my business. And I still do business coaching. I help people with all sorts of stuff, right? Yesterday, I helped, coaching is one of those worlds. You get into one part and you're kind of coaching somebody on everything, relationships, and because a person has all sorts of parts of themselves. Mm-hmm. And so the body piece, you guys, the body piece, it's the piece that most people won't spend time on. And I know, Laura, you do. In the mornings, you have a real beautiful self-care routine to take care of yourself. You take care of your body, mm-hmm. you're mindful, and you're always growing and working and going deeper and evolving. And that's what I don't see enough of, especially with people who want to create more for themselves, whether you want to create a business or, create an exciting life, travel, whatever these things are. Everybody likes to create things in their life. And, you can't do that if you don't feel good. And feeling good happens in the body. It is not a mental thing. Yes, it feels good to think good, but thinking good and feeling good go along with each other. It's actually a feeling state in the body. So a lot of people are doing mindset work and they're not necessarily getting as far as they want to, maybe. So what I'm doing is I'm saying, let's bring the mind into the body and have a different kind of soul expression and energy. So most people tell me, like, the number one thing I hear is, I love your energy.
That is definitely one thing that always attracted me to you. You can feel it anytime you're in the room. It's just part of that presence that you have everywhere you go.
Presence. That's what you said.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like crying right now. That's what this is about. And I know that there's a lot of people that you're connected to who have a lot to offer and want big things and great things, but their energy is off. And I'm going to help them, basically. That's it. I care about energy and the body and the mind all at one, 3D human, not just what do you think or what are you doing, but how are you being? What is your presence? What if you could walk into a room and just be like honey to bees, That's the idea here. I believe you can get what you want and people will give you stuff as long as you value yourself, as long as you're in your body and you're present. If you're thinking, think about it. Remember for a moment, when you've been around somebody who's thinking, it's not enjoyable. They think, they talk, they think, they talk. Or they think, and they're real pensive and quiet. It's actually better to be with somebody who's present. Like you just said, you're like attracting me for some reason. There's no really reason. You're like, I don't know what she does, but I want to be around her. That's what we all could have. And I'm so passionate about it. I'll tell you why, and then I'll tell you how in a second. I am a former academic. I used to teach at Ohio State environmental policy. And I just spent the first 34 years of my life in my head from the neck up. I was an intellect. I was studying and learning and thinking. I got to a point in my life where I was very unhappy. I was at this high level in my career. I had all the things. I had the house, I had the dogs, I had the clothes. I had everything outside of myself, all the things. I had accomplished a lot and I was miserable. I was so unhappy. I was overwhelmed. I got to a point where my adrenals were shot. I was on the couch for like a week straight. And for me, that's a big deal because I'm a mover and shaker. I've always have been. So I wore my own self out by thinking too much. And I don't get to tell the story all the time, so it's fun. I went to the gym one day and went to a yoga class. I wasn't into yoga and all that stuff. I just was into working out. I was still in my head, remember? I wasn't in the body.
Right.
Just in my head working out. Aerobics, all that. But I go to yoga and inhale, exhale. I went one day and it felt better than I had felt. I hadn't been to yoga in a while and I was in a really bad place in my life. I wasn't happy with my career, my relationship. Everything was falling apart. I had high blood pressure. I was on really high medication. I was about 35 pounds overweight and I had sciatica pain really bad. I could go on and on and on. I was getting gray hairs left and right. Silvers, I call them now. So I felt better than ever that day. Or I felt better than I had, not better than ever, excuse me. I felt better than I had in a long time. And it was with my body. I was just moving my body. I was very unhappy in my life. Nobody would have known. That was the wild thing. Because I had it all. I had it all. I'd done everything I could do at that point in my life. And I wasn't here happy because I wasn't with myself. Just thinking, trying to learn and learn, think. So I go to this class and I thought, because I'm a high achiever. So I thought, this feels really good. How many days in a row can I do it? How many days in a row can I let myself feel good? Most people won't. I'm going to say it right now. Most people will not do it. This was in 2013. And by day 42, I completely changed my life. I left an abusive marriage. Within a year, we'll say that timeline happened within a year, or that 42 days, that's the day that it happened. I know the exact day, and I know it was 42 days. That's why I do this. And I've done 42 days over and over and over, and it's a huge transformational journey. I'll tell you what it looks like in a second, but what I want to say is that I'm coming from a place of experience of actually living this and saying, like, there's a lot of, 40 days and 40 nights in the Bible. And there's a lot of research on like habit changing and really learning like to lifestyle change and all that. 42 days is 6 weeks. It's a pretty good timeline for people to learn something new and also live it and then take it forward on their own if they want to. Sometimes they stay with me, sometimes they do it on their own afterwards, but I know you can change in 6 weeks. Like, it's possible. And you have to do it by doing it every day, just a little bit. So within a year, I had left my, like I said, my relationship. I had changed my career, left my career, sold everything, and moved to Colorado to study under some teachers. I spent almost a decade, and it's been what, 2023, so it's been almost a decade now, about 9.5 years, where I've been basically deep dive studying on the body and the mind and a system of lifestyle movement. Because you can still be smart. Like, I'm a heady girl. I got a real strong, real fast mind. There's a lot going on, and if I'm not in my body, I'm crazy. It's truth. And I'm not happy. That's what I call crazy. I'm not happy, right? And so I've learned how to take the power of this strong mind and put it into action through the body and be present and be happy and energetic, like you said earlier, right? Yeah. And so I've developed Riverstone movement as a system for busy people, because I have learned, even though I've done all this like thousands of hours of deep diving, studying, practicing, teaching, I'm an academic, right? I'm like one of those kinds of people. If I get into something, I go all in deep. I want to know everything. Yep. And so time is the number one stressor for women. There's research on it. Consistency is the number one challenge I hear from my people they have to taking care of their body. Like, oh, I was doing that thing, but I stopped. Or I have a hard time getting in every day. Right. Like, oh, all of that. So I thought to myself in 2022, how can I help people be more consistent? How can I help people take care of their body without having to spend a bunch of time? So I developed Riverstone movement as a modality where I have 7 series of movements that are only 10 minutes each. That's it. So over a period of time, you learn 7 different parts of your body, 7 different kinds of movements that give you a full body engagement, awareness, and fitness routine. I don't consider myself a fitness coach. Nobody would call me that. I'm a mind-body coach, a body-mind coach, embodiment, whatever you want to call it. I go through the body to change the mind. I can help you with the mind, but it's not going to work unless you do the body piece. So I can teach you how to not be in stress chemicals in your body. You don't have to have them in the body. Crazy. I can teach you how to have a new posture, right? That's what this is about. And then I can teach you how to live lifestyle in that presence in your body, so you have the energy of attraction, right? That's what I care a lot about. I've done a lot of business coaching. A lot of people have struggles with money. Well, if you're in your body, you become the attractor. You don't have so much struggles with money. If you're thinking of struggles with money, that's really the thing. So it goes along with the business. The body and the business are directly related. So the 42-day rebellion is a mindful movement challenge where you practice for 10 minutes a day. That's it. We do 1 weekly workshop. So we do, a Monday workshop. So you learn about your body, and then every day of the week you practice for 10 minutes. It's a beautiful community of women only right now. I will be adding a co-ed class later in the year. But right now it's just women. And what's fascinating is the number one thing I see from women who choose to do this and show up every day what they say at the end is, I've never done something for myself this many days in a row. They're usually business women, corporate ladies, mothers, people just doing for other people all the time. And I was like, I'm going to create consistency with just a little bit of time for these people. I don't have to show up every day. I don't need to. I got my own thing going. I can like work out by myself. I can do, I can work 3 days a week if I want to. But I was like, I care. I want this for you. I want you to have results. I want you to feel good in your body. And I want you to have that energy of presence that's just super attractive. So that's why I've done this. It's a very personal, you can tell, it's like it comes from my own massive transformation. I chose 42 days for me. I've done it over and over and it works. And I know if I can do it for you, it will work too. So I've hosted 2 already with huge results, everything from like women in their 60s, getting a waist for the first time in their life to lifting the booty, which is amazing if you're in your 60s, like, hello.
It is.
To like healing traumas from like father stuff. Like, I've had all sorts of wild stuff happen in these classes already, right? Like when you get to know yourself, move yourself, and then have a community who supports you. And it's a mindful way to learn how to walk, sit, stand, and move through space. So we don't just do exercises. You'll know how to drive differently and pick up your cup and use your cell phone, right? Because that's how people injure themselves. It's not really working out. It's like the little things, like the way you're holding your cell phone or you dropped your keys. So you're literally going to learn how to be in your body. And here's the thing. It's a movement meditation. Even people doing self-care often are thinking. Mm-hmm. So what if this self-care can be just a little bit of time where you're not thinking? It's like a mind wash, little shower for the mind. And I'm really committed to helping, I like to say smarty pants people, right? The heady ones, the thinkers. A lot of my people are like ethereal, spiritual, they call them. Everybody thinks I'm spiritual. I'm like, yeah, but that's just because I live for my soul, right?
Yeah. And you and I have worked together. You know that I get thinking too much. I always used to get in my head because I'm a very detailed person. So it's kind of hard to shut that off. And it took a lot to start creating that little bit of a morning routine because you think you should be doing something else. But once you get it started and you do it, you miss it when you don't do it. You don't feel right.
You don't
feel right when you don't do it.
You're right. I have a woman who she has been doing this because she's done both of the challenges. She's joined my membership. She's doing the next challenge starts next Monday, January 9th, if you're watching this later. But the thing is, she's on day, I don't know exactly, like 150 or something. She started August 3rd and she's been doing, every day since. And however many days that is, I don't know how many right in my mind right now. It's a lot. It's over 100. So it's somewhere between 100 and 150, something like that. I talked to her and it's literally like what you just said. She basically, it's like, she can't not do it now because it feels so good. So most people are, I'm going to say this. I love y'all. If you're feeling bad, you might got life circumstances. I understand. I do have compassion for you. And at the same time, most people are addicted to feeling bad. So I call this the feel good rebellion because you got to be a rebellion. In a rebellion, you got to be a rebel to choose to be happy and feel good, right? I've been. People say to me, "Who do you think you are? You're not as happy as you think you are." And I'm like, "Watch me,
yeah.
Right?" And you know me. You could say you're like, "Yeah, she's that's who she is."
It's always easier to get sucked into the drama and be, get into that whole pity party and miserable. It takes a lot more to just say, nope, not a part of that.
Yeah, and it's like I'll give you one idea. Here's my compassion. The human mind loves problems because it loves solutions. We love solutions. So we love creating problems. What if you could live a whole new way? Also, if you're under stress chemicals in the body, the mind is off, the cognition is off. Also, women have 8 times, according to research, it's a little bit different, but what's the latest research? 8 times more gray matter in the brain. So we have a more dispersed mind. So it's harder to focus and stay happy sometimes, right?
Yep.
But happy wife, happy life, happy women, happy world. I'm telling you, the way we feel as women can change the room, can change a stadium, can change the world. We all know it. You walk in a room in a good mood or a bad mood, and the whole friggin' room knows and changes.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, or yeah,
Yeah,
right?
you do.
So I would put a big call out to everybody, but especially women right now, because their emotions are more dynamic. Be a rebel. Choose to feel good. Choose to be like 10% of the world, maybe 5% of the world. Choose to be different than everybody else, so that you stand out, so that you're a attractor, and so that you feel good. Like, you deserve to feel good, and this is your year.
Yep, absolutely. I think that's beautiful. That's why I was loving when you said that this was coming up, and I thought, what a perfect way to kick off the new year. I try not to do I don't do New Year's resolutions. I always try to improve throughout the year. I don't just wait and set goals, but I know there's a lot of people that do. And whether it's a resolution or not, I think it's a great way for people to kick off the new year and just start having a better year, feeling better about yourself and everything else.
Next level. Take yourself to the next level through the body piece. If you're not moving your body through space, if you're not moving, life's not moving through you.
Right.
If you ever talk to anybody in their 90s and you ask them, hey, what's your secret? They'll be like, don't stop moving.
Yep.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. So I'm really excited. It's been a really fun journey this past year with introducing. I've had 25 Riverstone movement students so far who have gone through the system. Every single one has phenomenal results. They speak very highly of not only the practice, but also the community. They feel very loved and supported. And that's a big deal to me.
That's a big piece. You have to have that support, that positive support and around you, which is another reason why I built this community, because there's so many people that struggle with that self-care journey. And I just want them to know that there's more people, there's more resources, there's more stuff out there for them to support them in that journey.
Yeah, I'm glad you do that, because a lot of people start stuff, and if they don't have support, they won't continue. No. It's much easier to do things for others that we say we'll do than for ourselves, right?
Yep.
So I would say, if anybody's out there right now and struggling with like being hard on yourself for not staying with something, like you wanted to quit something or you wanted to start something, and you only made it a day or 2 days or 3 days or 3 weeks or whatever, and you're not sticking with it, like, that's pretty normal. Like, be gentle on yourself, be nice to yourself. And
you gotta give yourself a little bit of grace.
Give yourself some grace. It's normal.
Yeah.
And like Laura said, is like, find people who will support you, because there are people who will help you, whether it be a free group, a paid thing, an online thing, an in-person thing, like a friend, a family member, somebody along the way can help you with that accountability, with consistency, so you can really get results. And if you try to do it alone and it's hard, it's pretty normal. Just know that.
Right. And your challenge that you're doing is online. So you can, so you can reach everywhere, anyone and everywhere. It's not something that you're doing necessarily in person. So wherever people are watching this from, they're welcome to join.
Yes, we practice. So I serve clients all around the world. We practice. The one thing I would say is, if you're in Europe, this might be a little more challenging for you, because this is a 4 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Eastern experience, 3 p.m. Pacific. But so some of my European clients tend to not come because it's a little late for them. They're not night owls; they're usually morning people. So that would be the only thing, is if you're on that part of the world, it might not be easy to make it, but we will be there.
That is awesome. Yeah, a lot of my self-care I do in the morning, just because it helps me get my whole day started. And sometimes the day goes on, by the time I'm done tired, I'm just like, oh, yeah, okay. So I always make sure I get my time in the morning, and if I can get it in again later, I do that too. But definitely do it.
I love that. I love, could I bring something forward why I did it at that time?
Absolutely. Uh-huh.
So cool. So the first one, the first 42-day challenge I did, the Feel Good Rebellion, I did at 9 a.m. Mountain, 11 a.m. Eastern. And it was great group of women, great, everything was awesome. And I actually did the later session partly for a personal choice, because I found that like you just said, but my energy later in the day, I'd be like, do my stuff in the morning, do my day. And then the end of the day, I'd be like, ugh. And I want to be brighter in the evenings with my family. So I was like, okay, what if I do this at a different time, a little bit later? And what's fascinating is that it's giving everybody who comes at that time this like little boost. Like it's not my favorite time of the day to either 4 p.m. is not my favorite time of the day to work or work out.
Right.
Okay. But what's fascinating, because I did the 42-day challenge and I've been doing the membership, so I've been doing now for about 3 months, that time, almost every single day. I'm used to it now and I love it. Like it's no big deal. It's like, wow. And I have more energy in the evenings for my family. And so if you need like a little energy boost, where we're not going to get you like so awake that you're adrenalized, nothing like that.
Right.
But if you need a little energy boost later in the day, this body movement stuff, whether you do it with me or you do it on your own, is a really good way to boost your energy, just a little bit, so that you might make it through the evening with a brighter mind.
Yeah, that is a good point, because unless I'm busy running around doing stuff, once I'm sitting and trying to do stuff, you start hitting around, 3:30, 4, just like, whew, okay, I'm done.
I'm all like, yeah, I'm the same way. I'm like, I need to go for a walk. I'm like,
yeah, go outside, get some fresh air, get some, something to re-energize for a little bit. But yeah, definitely.
So that's exactly why I provided it at that time. Not because at first it was easiest. It was actually not easiest for me. But now that it's at that time, it's really great. And, same thing. It hasn't always been easy for East Coasters to go at 6 p.m. because maybe they're doing their family stuff,
dinner time, or
they have to come. But what's neat is like it boosts them for their personal life stuff too, which is cool.
Yeah,
it was a neat choice for me to do it at that time.
Sounds like you discovered something too that can actually help people. You don't think about that. You just figure, no, I've had a long day, done. But that's a good thing. Get the little bit, like you said, not so much that you're so wired up that when you do need to settle down and go to sleep, because we all know how important sleep is, at least it's not, it's not enough to mess with that, just enough to keep you energized.
Exactly. And especially like if you've been sitting or standing a lot, we align your posture and get your body feeling good. So you'll actually probably like be more relaxed in the evening, even if once you're ready. It's like, if your body's not hurting, it's kind of hard to relax. If your body feels better, it's easier to relax.
Yeah. And I know some of your movements really makes a difference. I mean, we just finished driving all over the United States here for 3 weeks. And, I can feel, how after a while you're driving, you start slouching. Next thing you know, your tailbone, your back hurts. And I was remembering how you were telling me to like sit. So I'd have to like shift up, shift and sit. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, stretching out here. I'm kind of straighten up.
Okay. Yeah, you can tell a big difference. I mean, you're so lifted and bright like that, and it's just, we don't think about it until we think about it, right?
No. And then when you get out of the car, it's like, if you're sitting like that, it's like, oh, wow, everything just hurts. You have to move. But
exactly.
So, well, thank you, Lila. I really appreciate that. I am going to put the link that we have for people to get more information or to sign up in the comments below on this video. And so, please feel free to add whatever you want to the comments down there. So if people have questions, she's easy enough to find, Lila Veronica. You can find her on Facebook, LinkedIn, all kinds of social media. But I really want to thank you for taking the time to do this.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
So, all right. Well, I hope you all have a great weekend and do something definitely for yourself over the weekend. Because like I said, self-care is not selfish. It's essential for a healthier you. And movement, mindful movement, is a very big part of that. So thank you everyone for joining us, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.